A warm welcome to the link this week. Thank you for joining us today. We hope we're keeping our promise to you to give you information that you can use around your business and money, including opportunities. Tonight, depends on how you look at it, but we might have both again. But probably more of information in terms of business. We're discussing tonight business expansion, how to avoid costly mistakes. Where are we coming from? A startup or an SME starts and business is looking good. It might be a supermarket and you're in a certain suburb and you think, oh, a hardware. Or a consultancy and you think, okay, I need to go to Mbarara, or in Kampala you have a different suburb. Maybe you are in Chengera and you think it's working and now you need to go to the suburb of, say, Ntinda, for example. And therefore, that's what we call business expansion. You cannot be opening up branches and footprint in other locations after, in your view, you're doing well. Tonight, to discuss how to avoid costly mistakes, because that can also sink you or make you. Tonight, we have Dr. Julius Byaruhanga, Head of Policy and Advocacy in the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda, to take us to class on things to avoid as we expand. Doctor, welcome back again.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to have you once again. Let's take the first question. When is it appropriate for a startup or SME to consider expansion? For instance, adding a branch or two or acquiring additional business space?
Thank you so much for having me, and to the dear viewers, welcome back to the link. First of all, somewhere it's important to appreciate that SMEs dominate Uganda's business landscape.
Agreed.
They make about 83% of the businesses we have in the country. However, we've had quite a lot of challenges regarding the survival and growth of those SMEs.
Yeah.
When you look at most of the emerging economies like India, they are largely dominated by SMEs. But the difference is that those SMEs grow and they graduate from a micro to a small to a medium to a large enterprise as others join the queue. Now, regarding the question, there are key tenets of business growth that any entrepreneur must look at. Number one, it has to be the customer and brand pool.
Say that again.
Customer and brand pool.
Customer and brand pool.
Yes. So
the P-O-O-L. Yes.
So for instance, if you want to expand your business, you must consider feedback from your customers. Are there customers demanding for more branches elsewhere? If, for instance, you have a franchise, let's say a restaurant in Kampala, let's say at the City Square, do you have demand in Wandegea? Do you have demand in Mukono? Do you have demand in Ntinda?
Good question.
Are they asking often, can we be there? And are you keeping track of the numbers in terms of who is asking, in terms of who is appreciating your brand? Do they appreciate, for instance, your chef, how they do the food? Then the other one has to be, of course, consistent and sustainable demand. So the two might sound to be similar, but with consistent and sustainable demand, you shouldn't just be pushed by one boom in a period of, let's say, 6 to 5 months. I'll give you a quick example. During this electioneering period, around Chadondo Road, where NRM offices are, restaurants around that place made quite a lot of money.
I can imagine why.
There was a traffic of people going there. So if, for instance, in that period of 3-4 months, you made money, it doesn't guarantee that you should expand your restaurant. Or if you're doing printer, it's not guaranteed that because you made a lot of money during electioneering period, because people are printing T-shirts, posters, that you should quickly expand or create another branch. So there has to be that consistency. Has it been consistent for at least 12, 24 months?
And you're seeing it grow.
And you're seeing it grow, and also your customer base is expanding. So if, for instance, you're relying on similar customers, common faces,
the usual guys,
usual guys,
yes,
then it doesn't necessarily suggest that you should create another branch somewhere else. So there has to be a thorough market study, but also an appreciation of, again, the feedback that you get. Then the other is, of course, a strong financial foundation.
Okay.
You must have a good capital flow, health cash reserve, which you know that can, if you are to expand, can at least take you 6 to 12 months before you even realize profits. But also is not going to affect your other business.
Existing one.
Yes. So if you're largely relying on a small margin of profit you're getting from the other business to create another branch, it could eat into the other business, and at the end of the day, both end up struggling.
Before you go to the next point, Doctor, yes, paint a picture for our SMEs and startups who are listening. If I'm going to open another branch, what are some of the costs I must keep in mind to make that point come alive?
So first of all, you have operational expenses.
Yes.
The OPEX. You have personnel. Of course, you have to recruit new personnel.
Salaries.
If it's to put in place, let's say, IT systems, so those are, or there is rent.
Yes.
You must do redesign, rebranding of a space you're renting. So all those expenses have to be put into consideration.
In the new branch.
In a new branch.
Yes.
Because ideally, the new branch has to be a replica of the old branch.
Yes.
Because the moment you make a mistake and establish, let's assume you're doing again a restaurant.
Yes.
You establish a new branch, but the quality of services you give in the old branch are not similar to the quality of services, you'll end up losing customers in both branches. And I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I apologize if I use some brand names.
Okay.
So, if for instance you go to Baguma restaurant in Mbarara,
I know it. I know.
And you want to come, you come to Kampala.
Yes.
And you appreciate the services,
in the Baguma
especially
here.
in the service business is very tricky. You come to Baguma restaurant here in Kampala, and the services are different, not to the best but to the worst. Then even the idea of going back to Baguma restaurant in Mbara will
I get disappointed as
you get disappointed.
Yes.
So you won't be forced to go back to any Baguma restaurant anywhere else. So you have to be careful that when you're expanding your business, you're basically maintaining, if not improving, on the standards or the nature of the services you've been providing.
Meaning you must be aware of this. You must be actively aware of the service level you have, because people don't know. I just serve matoke and the karo and everything else. You are not specific. This is how the matoke is. This is how the karo is. This is how the sweet potatoes is. That's a very good point.
That's why most businesses in the services sector, like restaurants, end up getting it wrong.
Yeah.
You grow big, you do well, you're doing well on one restaurant, you fire the chef. Or the chef says, or you say, let me transfer this chef to a new branch. Then
you kill this one.
Have been attracted to this branch because of the chef. The way he does his food, lose interest. Then it kills the other new starting branch. Then also you end up, even you have to avoid eating into the similar customer base. So you think the business is growing because the clientele is expanding when actually it's similar customers. So when you establish another branch,
they go there.
You're fishing from this to this. So similar customers, you're just splitting the numbers.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you don't realize
you grow your cost, but the profit doesn't grow.
The profit doesn't grow because you're maintaining the same clientele for your business.
I know you were going to another point. Before you go, let's take a short break and come back and you continue with that other point of when is it appropriate and what to consider. Viewers, we are discussing business expansion and how to avoid costly mistakes, because expansion can be good, but it can kill your business, especially SMEs and startups. By the way, even the big enterprises, even the what we call the large companies, they can have problems. We're coming back after a short break. Don't go away. Welcome back from that short break, and we're discussing business expansion, but how to avoid costly mistakes that can make the expansion a terrible mistake. In the studio, we have Dr. Julius Byaruhanga, Head of Policy and Advocacy, Private Sector Foundation of Uganda. And we had already touched some 3 points, I think, in terms of what to avoid or when is it appropriate. Doctor, please continue.
So the other point is, of course, market opportunity, but one that is validated by data.
Let's say that again.
Market opportunity validated by data.
Supported.
So you can't just assume that you're going to get numbers.
Yeah.
First, there has to be proven unmet demand in a different location.
Yeah.
You do your research, you find out, is there unmet demand? What are the numbers? What nature of services do they need? Once you have that data, then you come in to fill the gap. So ideally, that's why most of the most successful businesses, they come in not to chase money, but to solve problems.
They're responding.
So you respond to a need. You don't just go and create a need and then you want to respond to it. There has to be a need. That need must be proven by data. So that also brings in the question of, is it strategic timing?
Okay.
Because you could bring up a business at a time when it's actually not appropriate for that business.
How do I know?
And by timing, there are many facets you look at.
Yes.
One of it is, of course, market demand. What are the existing needs?
Yes.
The other is, what is the policy environment? What's the tax regime like?
Good point.
What is it going to be in the next 2-3 years? What are the coming up government policies? Where, for instance, is government spending more money? For instance, now we are talking about ATMs for the 10-fold growth strategy. So it means the biggest spender, who is government, much of the spending is going to be into those critical sectors where we are looking at the 10-fold growth. So if you're going to invest to expand your business, those are some of the other things you have to look at.
Okay.
Because what that also suggests is that there's going to be a bit of an ease in terms of the policy or tax regime or the policy environment around those sectors.
It's going to be more supportive.
To make sure that they are growing at an accelerated rate.
Okay.
So there has to be good timing, but also an opportunity has to be there, which is fully validated by data. So meaning which is very scientific.
Doctor, I am a small enterprise, and I'm thinking, Dr. Byaruhanga is saying I do data. That means the hiring research team. Me, I don't have that money. Is there another symbol of me doing research? Because it's imperative.
You know, ideally, everybody is a researcher. You don't need to have a PhD or a master's or even a bachelor's to be a researcher. The kind of information the Bayiribi downtown have.
Bayiribi.
For you in your very nice, expensive suit, you don't have.
No, I don't. I agree.
So it's a question of how do you use that data? How are you seeing your market trends? these entrepreneurs in these micro, small enterprises,
Yeah.
they very well watch how their trends are going.
Which product people are demanding
Which
more?
product is being, how do they, for instance, want the kaunga to be? How do my customers want me to prepare my soup? Do they want more spiced? Do they want less spiced? So they have the data. It's a question of how do you use that data.
Yes. Knowing that you have it and then using it.
Exactly, of your business. So research, you don't need, sometimes you need to invest some little money.
Yeah.
But again, you invest to avoid what you called costly mistakes. The challenge is you can say I'm sinking my 50 million in expansion.
Yeah.
And you go wrong. But if you invest 1 million before you invest the 50 million, you could potentially avoid losing the 50 million.
Cost benefit.
Or use the 50 million to create more profit. So it's a question of doing a cost benefit analysis to see what do I get or what do I lose if I invest in gathering some data, watching the trends, but also giving it time. Don't be a reactionist when you're going to expand your business. Like I said earlier, in a period of 3 months, you made too much profit. Now you want another branch.
So those in a nutshell, we're saying information-based decisions.
Yes.
Okay. So in other words, you are saying, Doctor, if I have strong revenue and profit position, it does not mean it's time to expand.
Not necessarily. It's a green light, but it doesn't necessarily presuppose that you expand.
I can't consider that as a single factor.
Yeah. It's one variable among the tens of other variables.
Let's take our final question. Our time is running out. What are the risks to keep in mind associated with business expansion, even when I have done my homework? What are some of the key risks to keep in mind?
So one of them is what I hinted on earlier, which is financial overextension.
Yes.
Overstretching the money you have. Because remember, you're going to get new stuff. You're going to get new inventory. You're going to get... So you make sure the expansion you're going to make does not drain your cash reserves faster. So you must make sure that at least for the next 6-12 months, you're stable. Because even when you establish a new business, you don't expect to make profit immediately.
Or unless you get windfalls.
You have to recover the initial investment first. Then you begin
making profit.
So you must make sure that you avoid financial overextension. Over-exhausting your reserves, then you start to borrow
from the other business.
Yet you're not even sure of the clientele. One is avoiding dilution of quality and focus.
Quality dilution?
Yes. Because at the end of the day, one thing you have to avoid is, like the example I gave, compromising the quality of this branch. Because remember, if for instance you have a supermarket, you need someone who understands the operations in the previous branch. So sometimes you're forced to borrow
the manager
personnel from this branch to the other, to start it off, to get it on its feet.
And abandon this one.
And eventually you end up abandoning this one. So you end up diluting the quality of services in this branch. And that could apply to any other business.
Absolutely.
So you must avoid dilution. It could be management spirit, it could be even product quality. You might want to expand, but you don't have enough resources, for instance, to do the best of the brand you are doing in the other business. If, for instance, you're doing printer, you might not immediately buy that best quality printer.
The printer, yes. It took you time to buy it in this.
It took you time to buy it in this. So because you feel there is demand in the other part of the world, you
get a
say,
substandard
let me
one.
get some other print and start of the business. So you must avoid that kind of dilution. But also, you have to keep in mind that increased fixed costs and reduced flexibility are other key risk factors.
Fixed costs increase?
Yeah, because you're going to rent a new space, you're going to rebrand it to reflect the image of your brand or your product identity. But also, there is a lot now to deal with. So it's a question of preparedness. Are you ready for that? Because the amount of exhaustion you are getting from this other business, you're going to multiply it by 2 or by 3.
Your own stress, eh?
Whether it's on money, whether it's on personnel, whether it's on you as a manager or an owner of the business, you must keep in mind of the fact that you're going to have, for instance, new leases, be paying new salaries and other costs that come along with a new business.
I'm running out of time, Doc. I'm going to bring you back. I see that you had more points, and that's my dilemma always here. I'm always crying and saying, oh, we don't have enough time. And yes, I get the same feedback. Viewers, the Doc has many points here, but my time doesn't allow, and the news is coming on soon there. I don't want it to come late because of us, but we hope we added value to you. Now, you had, when the topic was business expansion, how to avoid costly mistakes, and we saw when it's appropriate, and the doctor has just finished with the risks. That definitely hasn't finished his list, but probably I'm going to ask for them, and I'm going to find a way to put them, some of them on social media, or we're going to write an article to that end. This is what we do best here, giving information you can use in your business and money. That was the link. Thank you for joining us tonight.